So one of our main learning targets in Chapter 7 was that we can perform math operations on rational functions. We're pretty comfortable, or should be, with those first three. We need to finish up adding and subtracting today. So we left off ready to look at example 9. The only thing that we need to add today, right, we've already looked at finding a least common denominator. We've already looked at adding fractions when they have a least common denominator. So all we have left is actually making these fractions have that least common denominator. So when I look at the number parts, the smallest thing that I can make 3x cubed and 4x to the 4th power both into is going to be 12x to the 4th power. So what do I need to multiply 3x cubed by, my first fraction, in order to make it 12x to the 4th power? I need to multiply it by 4x. So I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by 4x. And in my second fraction, what do I need to multiply by in order to make it 12x to the 4th? And that's just by 3. So I'm going to multiply by 3. 4x times 1 is just 4x, and 5 times 3 is 15. Right? That means I have 4x plus 15 all over my common denominator was 12x to the 4th. So, was there anything I can divide 4x and 15 both by? Can I factor that so I can simplify it all? The answer was no, and that's just my final answer. In number 10, right, I'm going to put my invisible parentheses in first so I don't accidentally forget to do parts, and look at that and say my least common denominator. Well, the number part is just 5, and then there's an x and an x minus 4. All of those things are different. So my least common denominator is going to be 5x x minus 4. It needs all three parts, right? The 5, the x, and the group x minus 4. But what do I need to do to make sure both fractions have that as a denominator? Well, the first fraction is missing the x minus 4 part. So I need to put x minus 4 on the top and bottom of that first fraction. The second fraction still needs to be multiplied by 5x. So I need to multiply the numerator and denominator both by 5x. Right? So then, if I multiply those things together, right, if I distribute my 12, I get 12x minus 48 for my first fraction, and 3x times 5x is 15x squared. And there was a plus in between. So if I write that in standard form, that means I have 15x squared plus 12x minus 48 all over my common denominator was 5x times x minus 4. Right? But can I factor? Right? Can I factor? I can take out a 3, and then I have 5x squared plus 4x minus 16. Did that help me at all? Well, 16 times 5, that's negative 80. That adds up to 4. Can I find numbers that work for that? 1 times 80, 2 times 40, 3, no, 4 times 5 times 16. 6, can't divide it by 6, by 7, no. 8 and 10, can't divide it by 9, and then 10 is already there. So those are all the possibilities. Can I find any that are 4 apart? So that's not possible. That just means that this is as much as I can factor that right here. Does it help me to rewrite it like that? am I going to be able to cancel anything out? Right? Because if it doesn't help me to rewrite it, I'm just going to leave it like this. Right? There's not a whole group that's 5x squared plus 4x minus 16 in the denominator, and I can't divide the denominator by 3. Right? I can't reduce 3 over 5 at all, so it doesn't help me to actually rewrite this. Right? But technically, right, like this would be an okay answer too, right? Okay, but we would prefer just to leave it like this since it didn't help me to factor the numerator. Again, I do not need you to distribute the denominator, right? We could, but I'm not going to ask you to. So no distributing in the denominator, right? We have to distribute in the numerator up here, right, so that we can add them together. But once it's added together, right, then we shouldn't be distributing. So let's take a look at a couple more examples. In number 11, the first thing I'm going to need to do is figure out my least common denominator. But this time, to find my least common denominator, I need to factor both of these denominators. So I'm looking what multiplies to, I think it's best to just rewrite it so we have enough space. What multiplies to negative 24 that adds up to negative 2. And that would be 6 times 4, so 4 and minus 6. So I can rewrite the first fraction as x minus 1 over x plus 4 times x minus 6 plus the second fraction, what multiplies to negative 6 and adds up to negative 5. That would be negative 6 and positive 1. Right? So I can rewrite the second fraction as 4 over x minus 6 times x plus 1. Right? Now, if I give you a problem like this, where you had to factor both of them, they should have something in common. Because I don't want you to have to multiply by a lot to make the denominators the same. So now I'm looking and saying, well, what is my pink fraction missing that the blue fraction has in the denominator? The blue fraction has an x plus 1 in the denominator that the pink fraction doesn't. So I need to put an x plus 1 there, so if my goal is to make them the same. If I put an x plus 1 in the denominator, though, I also have to put it in the numerator. So whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Okay? And then the same thing in the other fraction, right? I have an x plus 4 in the pink fraction that I didn't have in the blue one, so it's missing an x plus 4, which means my least common denominator actually has to have an x plus 4, an x minus 6, and an x plus 1. It has all of those parts. If I continue, from here, what's left? Well, I need to actually do the multiplying so that I can add stuff together. Right? So if I do that, here, right, I could recognize that it's a sum and a difference. If I'm not sure, I could go off and multiply it using a box. X plus 1 times x minus 1 is x squared minus 1x plus 1x minus 1. So it's just x squared minus 1. Plus, here I just need to distribute my 4, so I get 4x plus 16. Altogether, that gives me x squared plus 4x, and then negative 1 plus 16 is plus 15. All over my least common denominator. It does not matter which order we write those things in. So x plus 4, x minus 6, and it also needed an x plus 1. Is that my final answer, or can I keep going? Well, I'm done adding. Now it's back to a new problem, I start over and I say, okay, now I'm going to simplify. Can I simplify that? Can I find things that multiply to 15 that add up to 4? 1 times 15 or 3 times 5 are my only options. So that means that I can't, right? Doesn't work. This must be my final answer. Most of the time I'm not going to be able to simplify more, but I always should check. Always check if I can keep going. What about number 12? First thing that jumps out to me, put in my invisible parentheses. Ooh, another thing that jumps out to me is I need to change subtracting to adding the opposite. And I'm taking the opposite of the whole numerator. So this becomes a negative x and a positive 6. Then I factor my denominators. So what multiplies to negative 15 that adds up to 2? And that would be 5 and minus 3. So I have x plus 2 over x plus 5 times x minus 3 for my first fraction, plus, I like doing the second fraction in a different color so we could talk about that a little easier. So if I do that quick, negative x plus 6 over, well, what multiplies to negative 21 that adds up to 4. Again, in my head I'm thinking it's probably going to have something in common. Which one of those can I divide 21 by? Oh, it could be 7 and negative 3, and that makes 4, so that works. Right? So I have a x minus 3 and an x plus 7. To find my least common denominator, I want to know everything from the first denominator, x plus 5 and x minus 3, and then anything I didn't write down yet from the second one. Well, the second one has an x minus 3, but I already wrote that down, and it also has an x plus 7. So my least common denominator needs all 3 of those groups. So which group is missing in the blue fraction? Well, I'm missing the x plus 7. And in the pink fraction, I'm missing the x plus 5. So now I have my common denominator. In order to add these fractions together, I need to be able to add the stuff on the top, so I need to multiply those out first. So this time it probably is the easiest for me to go off to the sides and make a box for each of those. Right, if you can multiply or FOIL like distributive property, that's perfect too. Even if you can do it in your head. Right, I don't have to show work for this step. Right, I get negative x squared, 6x plus 5x, so negative x squared, 11x, and then, oop, wait a minute, 6x minus 5x is only 1x, and then plus 30. And for my numerator, that first fraction, x plus 7 times x plus 2 is x squared, 2x, 7x, and 14. 2x plus 7x is 9x. So if I add those together now, x squared plus negative x squared cancel each other out. 9x plus 1x is 10x, and 14 plus 30 is 44, all over x plus 7, x plus 5, x minus 3. Can I keep going? Well, I can take out a 2 and get 5x plus 22, does that help me cancel anything out in the denominator? No, so I might as well leave it like this. So adding and subtracting is definitely one of those tougher ones, but we looked at it one piece at a time, right? So now it's just putting it all together, right? See if you should have already found the common denominator for all of the practice problems, right? So for numbers 1 through 12, so now your job is just to actually make them have that common denominator by multiplying and finish adding those together. Make sure if you have questions, you're sending me an email, hopping onto Google Meet, or finding a way to get those questions answered.